Welcome to Life Science Today, your source for stories, insights, and trends across the life science industry. I'm your host, Dr. Noah Goodson. This week, a $900 million raise, gene therapy news, a quick IPO, and Merge 3 for $100 million. The views expressed on Life Science Today are those of the host and guests. They do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any organizations with which they are affiliated. Alnylam, the RNAi biotechnology company, has announced plans to raise $900 million in convertible senior notes. The raise comes on the heels of a series of positive data announcements across their clinical pipeline, including promising data from their phase 3 study of the therapy patisiran in patients with ATTR amyloidosis with cardiomyopathy, ATTR-CM. The study demonstrated a positive safety profile and improvements in function compared to the placebo control. ATTR-CM primarily impacts the heart, where amyloid tissue builds up, resulting in fatigue, swelling, and other heart-related issues. In addition to clinically relevant functional outcomes, the therapy showed statistically significant 87% reductions in blood serum levels of TRR, the key protein driver. Based on this data, it's likely patisiran could go to the FDA for expanded approval in the near future. Alnylam also released positive results for their phase 2 study of cemdisiran to treat IgA nephropathy and will progress to phase 3 studies at the beginning of next year. These two pieces of news expand the future outlook for RNA-based biotechnology companies. Unlike gene editing companies, RNAi infusions provide targeted interference RNA, which work to silence the translation of transcribed genes. In cases of gene overproduction, this approach can decrease excess buildup of the targeted proteins. But unlike gene editing, the effect is not permanent. Additional infusions will be required over time to maintain the effectiveness. This is both a positive in that it's possible to stop the therapy and space drug dosing to therapeutically relevant windows for individual patients, but it also means repeated infusions, which are the primary source of adverse events to date. The big news for now is that Alnylam is on track to demonstrate a portfolio of RNAi therapies can be developed targeting multiple rare genetically driven conditions. This nearly $1 billion raise will help see these to market. Not to be left in the dust by RNAi therapies, Intellia Therapeutics has reported positive early results from their in vivo therapy targeting ATTR-CM. Yes, they're targeting the same condition as Alnylam, but this time with a gene therapy. Intellia is at a much earlier stage with a first-in-human gene therapy, but their data so far show positive safety profiles and remarkably robust reduction in blood serum levels of transthyretin. The study will continue, but doubtless Intellia are ramping up plans for a phase 2 study in 2023 once all the data are collected. In similar news, they also announced positive interim data for a separate CRISPR gene therapy treating hereditary angioedema, HAE. So far, the data show the therapy effectively reduces the overactive protein kallikrein that drives the condition, as well as decreases in the potentially fatal swelling attacks that occur as a result. The mean reduction of the attacks was 75% in the low dose and 92% in the high dose. While these studies are early stage, it suggests both impact on the underlying causes of the disease and measurable clinical differences. Taken together with the previous story, these therapies are coming to life, but the path is complex, especially for the organizations forging the route to approval, battling to preserve investor confidence and at times fighting to win on the same rare disease conditions. I'm not sure if Intellia feels this way, but I'm brought back to my first time gene editing in living creatures using CRISPR. It was such a battle of careful technique to complete each step of the process. But when I saw the first data coming in that demonstrated unequivocally that it worked, I was shocked. And I'd like that to be the takeaway here, not some speculation on stocks or company outcomes. In the case of CRISPR, we're using a bacterial defense system that was really only understood for the first time about 10 years ago, and we're using it in humans to permanently stop disease symptoms with a single dose. And I think that is pretty amazing. Third Harmonic Bio has announced a $185 million upsized IPO. Opening on the NASDAQ Thursday, shares shot up about 20%, but settled with much of the rest of the biotech market on Friday. Their candidate, THB-001, is a KIT inhibitor, currently in early clinical studies for the treatment of the dermatological condition urticaria, also known as chronic hives. THB-001 is being studied to treat both the inducible form, triggered by certain stimuli, and spontaneous urticaria, which occurs for no known reason. The KIT inhibitor specifically targets the action of mast cells, which are critical to immune defense and wound healing, but also play a role in allergic reactions. Third Harmonic has set hives as their first target, but believes multiple conditions may benefit and has preclinical work underway for asthma. The short runway from stealth exit earlier this year to IPO may be related to the single molecule pipeline, but I suspect it's more driven by the approach of their VC backers. Either way, this capital should progress Third Harmonic through early phase studies. Galvanize Therapeutics has announced the merger with its sibling companies, Gala Therapeutics and Galaxy Medical, into one company focused on pulsed electrical field energy therapies for a range of conditions. All three organizations originated under Apple Tree Partners. They were developing in parallel but not identical directions. The merger, though, reads more like a pragmatic refocusing of an R&D department than the merger of three distinct organizations, which may reflect the operational reality or specious conjecture on my part. Regardless of the internal and fiscal politics of the move, the announcement is accompanied by the critical raising of a $100 million Series B, with financing led by Fidelity. The company further announced that they've received a 510(k) for a soft tissue ablation system and 2 CE marked systems for other indications. While they're pre-commercial, they certainly have some starting materials to expand out their clinical efforts with the newly combined and funded organization. Thanks for joining me for Life Science Today, your source for stories, insights, and trends across the life science industry. Learn more on lifesciencetodaypodcast.com. And if you like what you hear, please tell a friend. Once again, I'm Dr. Noah Goodson. I'll see you next week.